broadcasting live from the University of North Texas. Coming up.
It's been a year in the making. We now have a new Supreme Court judge. What does this mean for you? And there's never too much cheese for this delicious holiday. And we have one of UNT's finest in the studio for an exclusive performance.
Time to start your morning with Let's Talk North Texas.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, April 12th. Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk North Texas. I'm Katie Drake.
And I'm Shelby Trahan. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer set off an intense backlash on Tuesday when he suggested that President Bashar al-Assad of Syria was worse than Hitler, stating incorrectly that Hitler had not used chemical weapons during World War II or against his own people.
We didn't use chemical weapons in World War II. You know, you had someone as despicable as Hitler, who didn't even sink to using chemical weapons. I think when you come to sarin gas, he was not using the gas on his own people the same way that Assad is doing.
After the briefing, Mr. Spicer tried to clarify in a statement that he did not intend to be dismissive of the Holocaust. Dictator Adolf Hitler killed an estimated 6 million women, men, and children in the late 1930s and early 1940s in gas chambers. Following a year-long battle to fill the vacant Supreme Court seat, President Trump scored a victory on Monday as Neil Gorsuch was sworn in. Trump nominated Gorsuch back in February to replace Antonin Scalia, promising to bring back a more conservative court. The Gorsuch confirmation does not come without controversy, as Senate Democrats led a failed filibuster attempt to stop the voting. Trump has already high praise for the new justice and expects positive rulings for his administration.
I have no doubt you will go down as one of the truly great justices in the history of the United States Supreme Court.
With us now is our political analyst Connor Flanagan. He is a former candidate for the Texas House District 64. Thanks for joining us today, Connor.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's dive right into this. Why do you think Trump was campaigning so hard for Gorsuch?
So last year in 2016, February, when Justice Antonin Scalia died, created a split in the Supreme Court, and Trump needed to appoint a conservative judge to the bench to conserve that majority. And he campaigned on that during his campaign, and that's one of the reasons that a lot of people voted for him.
Now, who is Gorsuch and where did he come from?
He is from Colorado. He went to Harvard Law and then was a clerk for Justice Anthony Kennedy, who is still on the Supreme Court. So this is the first time that a Supreme Court justice is working alongside one of the people that he clerked for. So that's really interesting. Then he was appointed to the 10th Circuit in 2006 by George W. Bush, and then now he was just appointed to the Supreme Court by Donald Trump.
Nice. Now, the Supreme Court can be really confusing to people, so can you explain to us what we can expect from Gorsuch?
So he's about on the same level of conservativeness as Antonin Scalia, so not a lot is going to change from before last February. So it's going to be relatively conservative. There's not going to be there's not going to be any 4-4 splits as there are today. So you're going to expect a little more conservative rulings coming down from the bench, but I think that it's not a lot is going to change.
Well, thank you so much for coming in, Connor. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
As the investigation continues in San Bernardino, police believe domestic issues are the cause for the gunman opening fire.
Everyone's heart's broken.
Monica Samaro and her 7-year-old son Matthew stopped by the Growing Memorial outside North Park Elementary to leave Legos in memory of the 8-year-old boy killed here yesterday. Jonathan Martinez was struck by one of the bullets meant for his teacher. Samaro, who did not want to show her face on camera, says her son goes to a nearby elementary, but this has hit too close to home.
I came because last night when going to bed, I couldn't help but think about the mom, how, she had to go home, get in bed, and she's never going to get her little boy back.
Confirming you're aware of the possible active shooter at North Park Elementary.
It was just before 10:30 yesterday morning when police say Cedric Anderson checked in as a visitor at the front office.
He tried another door first, and that door was locked, and the only door that he was able to go through is the one door that leads into the office.
He then walked into his estranged wife's special needs classroom, pulled out a gun, and opened fire, killing Karen Elaine Smith. Police say there were allegations of infidelity. They say he did not leave a suicide note, but another kind of rant.
It was a regular 8x10 piece of paper with handwriting that said something to the effect of things that required attention, and it made reference to the relationship and fixing things, and then it also made reference to feeling dishonored and that moving forward with no regrets or something of that nature.
Police say Anderson reloaded and shot himself in front of 15 first through fourth graders in the room.
Of those injured, the gunman killed his wife and a student. Now let's take a look at our morning report. Sarah, what do you have for us?
Take a look. Take a look at this. United Airlines is under fire after videos have gone viral of a man being forcibly removed from an overbooked flight on Sunday. In these videos, the passenger is heard screaming while being dragged out of his seat and bloodied by aviation police after refusing to give up his seat for crew members. A federal judge has now ruled for a second time that the state voter ID law was designed to discriminate against minorities. This second ruling shows the continued evidence of racial discrimination in the state election maps in 2011. The same year the voter ID rules were passed, the ruling has no immediate impact, but it raises the possibility that Texas could be stripped of its right to change state election laws unless the federal government okays the action. The Texas Senate has pre-approved a bill allowing county judges and other officials to refuse to issue marriage licenses for same-sex couples because of personal religious objections. State Senator Brian Birdwell said his proposal would allow clerks to assign their duties to other on-duty clerks if they refuse to issue same-sex licenses. However, Texas Democrat groups say the bill violates the U.S. Supreme Court's 2015 legalization of gay marriage. On a less serious note, if you're scared of heights, this pool probably isn't for you. Market Square Tower in downtown Houston has a newly built glass pool located on the 40th floor of the building. Residents of the building have the chance to dive on top of downtown Houston. Katie and Shelby, would you do it?
Nope. I would do it. I actually saw it on Twitter, and I live in Houston, so I was really looking for where it was.
Well,
I
you're
really want to
brave.
do it. I want to do it.
That's it for this morning report.
Thanks, Sarah. Coming up, we indulge in a childhood favorite.
And get ready for a traditional folk performance from Luke Sinclair. Stay tuned.
Part of your world.
That was awkward. It's like we didn't know what to say.
Dad's home.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
The Dallas Police Department might need to call 911 and report a theft. Recently, the city of San Antonio has bumped up their recruitment efforts to attract veteran Dallas police officers. Offering incentives such as stronger pension and higher pay, San Antonio PD hopes to attract the experienced officers Dallas has to offer. Dallas City Council member Philip Kingston has taken notice of the poaching efforts, but says the situation shines a spotlight on how Dallas could do better. The San Antonio Police Department will be at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Dallas on Tuesday morning to continue their advertising efforts. Well, Katie, you know, when I walked outside this morning, it was muggy, it was cold, and it wasn't what I was expecting.
I know, it was terrible. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Maybe Sarah can give us a little bit of a better idea of what to expect this morning. Sarah?
So. Well, Shelby and Katie, right now it is cloudy outside, it's 64, and today's high, if we look at it, it's actually going to be 78 degrees, and we actually have a 30% chance of rain today, so make sure to grab your umbrella. Our humidity is very high, so don't work too hard on your hair today. And coming up next, I will have your weekend weather for you. Back to you.
We have a really exciting live shot for you guys today. It has to do with one of my favorite foods.
Let's go to Maricela Trejo.
Thanks, Shelby and Katie. It is National Grilled Cheese Lovers today, and it has a lot of people excited. See, grilled cheese only needs 3 ingredients to be perfect: bread, cheese, and butter. Well, 7 Mile Cafe loves to break that rule and offer you unique options only found around the Denton area. See, they offer you grilled cheese and bacon, and grilled cheese and pears I have right here, grilled cheese avocado melt that also includes mushrooms and tomatoes. They even allow you to substitute the jack and cheddar cheese for a vegan option. Well, 7 Mile is open from 8 to 2 p.m. weekdays, so make sure to stop by for some brunch and follow them on Twitter at 7 Mile Cafe for more information. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this delicious sandwich before I head to class this morning. The only thing I'm missing is my tomato soup. Shelby, Katie, what's cooking in the studio today?
Maricela, since you're enjoying some there, we are going to enjoy some here.
Oh, great.
I made a grilled cheese sandwich for the both of us.
Oh, you're
Katie.
so sweet. Yes, thank you so much.
We'll be right back with some mini talents of UNT. Stay tuned.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know. Come alive with the forest. The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Well, Katie, you know, this weekend is Easter, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, hopefully the weather gets a little better because all the women are going to want to do their hair on Sunday,
Right.
that's for sure.
Yes. Well, let's go over to Sarah Scarlett to see what the weather's looking like.
Well, as you can see, yesterday was a beautiful day, but today we're not going to really have that weather again. It's going to be very cloudy outside, so let's take a look at our current conditions. We're mostly in the 60s, low 60s, but in Fort Worth and Dallas, we're going to get up to 66 right now. And if we look at tomorrow's conditions, there's not going to be much of a change. We're still going to be mostly in the 60s, but coming up for the rest of this week, we're going to have some rain. Today we have a very high chance of rain, and then on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's going to be partly cloudy. It's going to be very warm outside, muggy, and then on Sunday, we have a very high chance of rain on your Easter. So make sure to plan accordingly. That's all I have for you. Back to you, Shelby and Katie.
UNT scored a touchdown this week as the university released their football schedule for the 2017 season. Looking at the schedule, there are a few notable games, including those against SMU and UTEP. Homecoming is from November 6th to the 11th this year, giving UNT a chance to redeem themselves against UTEP after a long last year. Football season returns Saturday, September 2nd for the Mean Green University. Well, although Tony Romo may be retired from the football field, his sporting career took a new turn as he made an appearance on the basketball court. Romo participated in the Mavericks game against the Nuggets yesterday. Before that, he held a press conference with members of the Dallas media. It was there that he went through warm-ups and received an introduction from the Mavericks PA announcer. Romo did or didn't get a chance to play, but many said it was a memorable experience for the quarterback. Now, speaking of a man with many talents, we have a performer in the studio today. Let's send it over to Brittany, who is with Luke Sinclair.
Thanks, Katie and Shelby. I'm here with Luke Sinclair, who is a UNT student and a singer-songwriter. He currently has an album out on iTunes called Another Performer. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, what made you pursue music?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to, have a lot of records around, and my dad kind of introduced me to a lot of the old rock bands from the 60s and 70s, and I got into songwriting and writing poetry after I heard Dylan and Leonard Cohen and Neil Young and things like that. And I remember I started a band back in high school, and after that band broke up, I had to continue to hone my skills on guitar, and it just kind of grew from there.
Oh, wow. It takes a lot of willpower to do that on your own.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, how do you juggle school and your music career?
Well, for me, it's not as difficult because I love my major and I love UNT, and so I've never really had to deal with any conflicts because if you love what you're doing, then you don't really think about it.
Yeah. Well, the title of your album is Another Performer. Where did that title come from?
It actually came from one time I was playing at LSA Burger. I think it was about 2 years ago now, and the TWU newspaper actually showed up, and they took a picture of me and wrote a little caption in their newspaper that they were doing about open mics in Denton or something like that, and they didn't bother to ask my name, so they just referred to me as Another Performer. So I thought that would be a kind of a cool title for the album.
That is a really good title. Yeah. So what are the steps you took to get your album on iTunes, for other aspiring artists?
Well, I recorded it with this guy named Levi Bradford. He's a producer, and he runs a music school in Frisco, and so I recorded it with him, and he's a great producer. His company is called Noise Umbrella, and it took about maybe like about 2 days to record the whole album, and I went to this website called TuneCore, and it costs just like $30 to put your whole album on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon Music and just a whole bunch of other places, and it was relatively easy. It's just easier now for artists who want to make it on their own.
Yeah, I'm glad you gave those tips out for how to get that on there. So you have a song that you're going to be playing for us today, correct?
Yes.
And what's the title of that song?
It's called Waiting for the Show. It's one of my own from the album, first song on the album.
Well, I cannot wait to hear it, and I'm sure our viewers can't wait either. Well, if you love his music, make sure to follow him on Facebook at Luke Sinclair Music. His next show will be at Manny's in Frisco on April 21st. Make sure to stick around to hear Luke live in studio.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Millions of loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and adopt already.
What is creativity?
The ability to probe into something you don't know, to answer questions previously not answered.
And resist the temptation to say what everybody else has said.
Using the different mediums, combining the different mediums.
It's taking what we have and reassembling it and using it in a different manner.
Describes what free people do.
It has something to do with dreaming. It's actually what life's all about.
Don't panic. The lead vocals for Panic at the Disco. Brendan Urie is not quitting his day job. Brendan Urie is not new to the stage, but in this case, he is taking on a new role. He'll be playing Charlie in the summer run of the Broadway musical Kinky Boots. Charlie is one of the main stars who takes over his father's shoe factory. He'll be performing with J. Harrison Gee as Lola, the drag queen who rocks the world of fashion and helps the business. Urie will begin his role on Kinky Boots on May 26th and will take a final bow on the Broadway stage on August 6th. Two celebrities went from We Belong Together to Love Will Never Do. Mariah Carey and her boyfriend of 5 months, Brian Tanaka, have split. Their relationship was live for the world to see on the show Mariah's World. The two split because Tanaka was jealous over Mariah Carey's ex-husband, Nick Cannon, and it didn't help that Tanaka had expensive taste and was using up Mariah Carey's funds to pay for that taste. Mariah Carey is not the only one to be playing breakup songs. Janet Jackson split from her husband and father of her newborn, Wissam Almana. The pair split after Jackson noticed the huge cultural difference between them and his controlling nature during her pregnancy. That cultural difference just became too much. Well, everyone should experience other cultures and get out there to learn more. In this case, getting out there won't be so difficult. The Korean Cultural Spring Festival will be held at the University of North Texas and will be hosted by the UNT Korean Cultural Exchange to celebrate Global Citizens Month. This is a unique experience to unite UNT students and showcase diversity. It's time to get out there and see the world, but first go see it in your own backyard. The Korean Cultural Spring Festival will be next Tuesday, April 28th at 3 p.m. The good news is that it is open to the UNT community and it's free. So come join us for some diverse fun. Back to you, Shelby and Katie.
Thanks, Brittany, and thank you for watching Let's Talk North Texas.
Stay tuned for new news, but before we leave, let's check out Luke St. Clair performing Waiting for the Show.
Oh yeah, my heart is breaking, my throat is dry, my head is aching, think it just might die. Oh honey, what can I do? I'm just waiting right here for you. Oh, honey, where will you go? I'm just waiting for the show. my hair is burning, my skin is cold. My blood is boiling, my love is gold. Oh, honey, what can I say? I'm gonna love you some rainy day. Oh, honey, what do you know? Well, I'm gonna love you when the cold winds blow.
Share your heart, share your love. Make a shelter pet part of your world.
Dad's home!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Millions of loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and adopt already.